Today's video is dedicated to those people who come to me and say, I don't even know what I want to manifest. I don't even know what my dream is. I can't find my passion. I don't know what my purpose is. I've always been somebody who's been guided by my dreams and my passions. So whenever I would hear somebody saying to me, I don't even know what it is that I want to do in this life, I never understood that. I could never resonate with it. And I almost found it to be a little bit lazy until I did manifest and obtain most of the goals that I had set for myself in my life. A lot of them, I did attain them. And I built many of my dreams. And I became a person who needs and wants very little. So suddenly I found myself at a point in life where I couldn't tell you what I wanted 5 years down the road, much less 20 years. And I didn't know what my dream or what my passion was anymore. Aside from the things that I was already doing, what else? Was I just going to maintain forever? Or where was my passion? I'd lost it. So initially, upon discovering this, I felt a little bit anxious and frightened. What's the point of even having dreams and goals when once you reach them, you feel like you need to create new ones, right? And it's kind of scary when it just doesn't come to you naturally, something that you want to do. What was I supposed to do now on this earth? Do I just need to maintain this lifestyle that I built? Will every day be the same? When will I ever feel passionate again? About half a year into having these thoughts, I did find my dreams and my passions again. And I hope to be able to guide you today and always to finding that aspect of you, that passion, those dreams, those goals that you want. And not only that, but also to the remembrance that you are not lost at all. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, and so much more. Today, I want to talk to and answer that question that so many people present to me, which is like, what do I do when I feel like I lost myself? What do I do when I feel like I can't find what I really want in life? What I want to manifest or what I want to achieve? I just feel lost. I have an answer to that. But before we get into that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor, Skillshare. If you're not already familiar, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes where people come together to take inspiring classes on topics ranging from design, illustration, freelancing, and so much more. Recently, I've been undergoing a bit of a creative dry spell. You could probably tell by the minimal amounts of uploads lately, and also a little bit of anxiety, and Skillshare has really come through for me during this time. You might know this from older videos, but when I feel like I'm creatively stagnant, I do like to be creative in other ways. So instead of, researching and creating videos, I'll do something else, like I'll paint, or I'll garden, or I'll read something that has nothing to do with self-development, right? So Skillshare has been making this so much easier for me because I can pick a hobby from thousands of classes. And this time I chose to start learning how to do a little bit of graphic design, a little bit of illustrations. So I got the app Procreate, and Skillshare has the best Procreate tutorials, and it teaches you seriously from step A to step Z how to really start to do illustrations on this app. So I recently started with the class Digital Illustration, Learn to Use Procreate, and I've been drawing every night since then. I can show you some of the things that I've been doing. Here. I'm like a little kid that wants to show off her art, I swear. It's been really therapeutic for me and really helped to settle my mind. Skillshare classes include a combination of video lessons and a class project. And the classes can fit anybody's skill level and anybody's schedule. I myself have taken writing classes, I've taken journaling, meditation challenges, interior design classes, mindfulness courses, and I learned something incredibly useful every single time. The best thing about Skillshare, I think, is that it's less than $10 a month for an annual premium subscription. So you can try all these different classes for basically nothing. And since they're sponsoring today's video, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link below get 2 months of the premium membership for absolutely free, and you could start to explore your creativity today. Thank you, Skillshare, and now let's get into the video. So I have 2 things that I want to make super clear before I get into how we find this dream, this passion of ours, in ourselves, really. The first thing is that you are not lost. You might be feeling lost, but you're not actually lost. You are right there in your body, totally and fully you. You are you on a journey of self-discovery and self-creation. What if instead of spending all this time looking for ourselves, we spent time discovering ourselves and creating ourselves? So that's what today's topic is all about, self-discovery and self-creation. The second thing that I want to point out before we get into that is that this should not be nerve-wracking for us. So let's put down the anxiety, let's put down the doubts, let's put down the what ifs. You can pick it up later, leave it at the door, and let's discuss this from a rational place, aka the heart. But to do that, we have to start to see the human experience as a process of creating and discovering ourselves, rather than a process of finding ourselves, because that does indicate that we are lost. And to do all that, believe it or not, all we have to do is start to take things less seriously. So let's put our human life into perspective now. We came here to this spinning ball floating in space with absolutely no idea why we're here. Every single person comes into this world the same, not knowing where we came from, where we're going after, and why we came here. We have all kinds of theories and all kinds of stories, creation myths, and yet none of us definitively know anything at all. So what do? What do human beings who come to this world with consciousness and have forgotten who they are, what do? So we create societies that give us meaning, that give us structure, that give organization to an otherwise senseless world. Basically, we created a game. And the funny thing is that everybody's forgotten that it's a game. We've all forgotten. Everyone takes this so seriously, and we no longer have fun playing it. We've also forgotten that there are limitless amounts of ways to play this game and to win at this game. Why have we forgotten? Because we've done what humans often do. Most of the time what humans do, we followed the herd. We entered hive mentality. So the other day I went on a hike with a couple of friends. It's a new hike that I hadn't been to. It was so beautiful, ocean views, greenery the whole time. And at the top of this trail, there's this giant lone tree, just one beautiful tree. Imagine a tree against the view of the ocean, sparkling blue ocean. And that tree was offering shade to hikers in the distance, right? But no hiker was under this tree. So everyone was actually gathered right across from this tree. There was kind of like a trail leading to it, but it was overgrown with grass and wild nature. So you couldn't really see the trail to the tree. So all these hikers, there was like 20 people there, were just sitting, social distancing away from each other in the scorching heat in Los Angeles, just looking at the tree, looking at the view. And I was thinking, well, why has no one ventured over to the tree, right? I thought maybe there's no access to it, but I could clearly see the trail right there. It was just a little bit overgrown. So I started to make my way over to the tree. My friends were following suit. It was very easy to get over to the trail. You just had to, whack some wild overgrown grass away from you. And we made our way over to this beautiful tree, and we sat underneath, and it's this place of shade where we could just stare out into the ocean and smell the ocean breeze. It was incredible. And within minutes, you guys, all the hikers that were previously in the sun started to file over to this tree and gather around this huge tree for shade. I realized what had happened was probably one or two hikers had stopped where, in the previous place away from the tree, thinking maybe they couldn't make it over, or thinking maybe they just want to hang out there in the sun. And one by one, these other groups of hikers just stood there thinking that they can't make their way over to the tree because nobody else had. Does that make sense? So slowly more and more hikers gathered and did the same. So because there's power in numbers, everybody else who showed up there was like, well, I guess I'm just gonna stay here and look at the view from here, until me and my friends made our way over and showed them what was possible, really easily possible. So that's what humans do. We follow suit. It's natural for the human mentality, because our hunter-gatherer ancestors, are the Homo sapiens. We're Homo sapiens sapiens, so let's say the Homo sapiens, they had to stay in packs in order to stay alive. I think, no, 10,000 years ago we were already settling down and had agriculture. So let's say Homo sapiens, right? Our hunter-gatherer ancestors, we had to stay in groups and communities in order to stay alive. If you ventured off on your own, you would get killed or not survive because of the harsh elements. So it's so ingrained in us that it's not even just frightening to step out of the herd, it's basically inconceivable. It's a blind spot. We don't even see what we can do until somebody tells us that we can do it, or until someone else does it and points it out. So I wanted to share this story as a reminder that just because everyone else is standing away from that coveted spot doesn't mean it's not available to you. Just because somebody else isn't going after it doesn't mean that you can't have it. Just because everyone else does something one way doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. So we break out of the hive mentality and out of, well, this person did it this way, and we come back to this remembrance that we have, that this is a human game that we've signed up to, right? But we unconsciously accepted the terms and conditions, not consciously, and that we can fool around with this game at any time. We don't have to play it like everybody else. And it should be fun and silly and enjoyable as often as possible, because we did come here to play. And this reality isn't the only one. We're never born, we never die, we just continue on. Energy is never created nor destroyed. With this remembrance, we can start the process of self-discovery and self-creation and throw out that notion that we're lost or that we're confused. Because we're not looking for ourselves, we already are ourselves. Let's discover ourselves, let's go inwards. Let's discover and let's create ourselves. We're not lost, we're exactly where we're meant to be. So now that we remember that it's all fun and games and that discovering ourselves is a joyful process, let's talk about ways that we can do that. The first thing I always recommend is to try everything. Now that you know it's fun and that there's no, you don't need to be anxious about it because you're wasting your time being anxious. Being anxious and worrying about the future is just wasting your time rather than utilizing it to explore and to discover. So you get to explore yourself and this world. So get to exploring. I know that sometimes it's also like, it seems like there's so much you can do, there's so much available to you that you don't even know where to start. The answer is just to start wherever. Choose one thing, block out the rest. If you like it, keep going. If you don't like it, go to the second thing. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can make a list and you can be like, well, that lights my soul on fire. Let me go after that for a bit. We have to kind of break out of this mentality that we have to do one thing for the rest of our lives. We don't live that kind of life anymore. That used to be the norm in society for maybe generations past. But what we have right now in the 21st century is people are constantly changing what they do. I'm not doing anything that I got my degree for, right? I was going to be an anchor woman. Yes, there's similarities. I'm talking to a camera, right? But I created my own path, and I've created all these a jewelry line and all these other things since then. And I can change what I want to do every 5 years if I wanted, every year if I wanted. We have the capability of doing that these days. We have the resources and the ability to learn and to pick up new skills and to make those skills into something unique for ourselves. We do not live in the times that you have one career for the rest of your life. You become one thing for the rest of your life. It's just not it. It's also not the kind of time where you can only do one thing at a time. You can do many different things, have little side hustles, have all these different interests, and monetize all of them. And once you find something that does light you up, that's such a gift. Follow that. See where it takes you as far as you can go. How can you start trying everything? You have YouTube at your disposal, you have books at your disposal, you have Skillshare, like we talked in the beginning. You can start exploring what interests you, what intrigues you. It's so fun when you don't know what you want to do, you can just go out there and see what's out there. Like, that's so cool. And the great thing is when you take yourself less seriously, when you take the process less seriously and come at it from a place of joy rather than from fear and anxiety, wherever you are guided and wherever your guides in the universe will lovingly take you is going to be a place of joy. Searching for what you want to do in life from a place of fear and anxiety and of scarcity and lack will only beget you a job or career or situation that makes you feel more fearful and more anxious. My second tip for self-discovery is to step into your childlike curiosity. Ask people about themselves, their lives, their backgrounds, their careers, their passions, and their dreams, and really listen. Enter a place in which talking about dreams and goals and passions cultivates this atmosphere that calls in your own dreams. Be curious about everything and really, really listen. Really pay attention to your life. Live your life fully immersed in the experience. Your calling can often come in the form of someone else talking about something they read the other day. Pay attention. Number 3, I talk about this one a lot. Create an idea book and start to write 10 ideas every single day. No matter how stupid they might seem to you, what you're doing is you're becoming a vessel to ideas. Make sure that this journal or notebook is specifically designated only for your ideas. And then just write down any dumb, silly, good, whatever idea that you have. 10 ideas every day. I did this a few months ago, and it's how I came up with the next thing that I'm super passionate about, that I've started to work on, that I will tell you all about when it comes into fruition. Number 4, meditate. Meditate to quiet the ever-thinking mind. Meditate to remember that you are not lost. You are right here and right now. And meditate to create the best version of you. Meditate to quiet the mind and then visualize exactly who you want to be, what you want to become, how you're going to create yourself. Meditating every single day gives you the opportunity to create yourself every day. The 5th one is something kind of that might seem a little bit random, but this was really important to me in understanding what I do want in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I had to follow my triggers like breadcrumbs. So one of my triggers was marriage. I would see people getting engaged or getting married and I'd be like, ugh. I'd have like this sense of bitterness. Like, I don't want a monogamous relationship. I don't want a traditional marriage. It grosses me out. And I had this because of childhood things, right? I watched my parents' marriage fall apart. I watched the marriages of most of my best friends' parents fall apart. All I really knew, honestly, other than my grandparents, is marriages with issues. And I had this really icky feeling towards marriage, and I had to follow that trigger like a breadcrumb, like a trail of breadcrumbs to find, well, where is this trigger coming from? Why is this happening? And can I cure it? Can I heal it? I healed it by deciding to be more positive about it. So when I would see friends or people I know getting engaged, I would celebrate them to the fullest. I would really, truly feel so good for them inside and cultivate those feelings like good for them. I'm so happy for them. And in the beginning, it felt fake. And now all this time later, I'm genuinely so excited and so happy whenever I see somebody manifest the love of their lives and get married and get engaged. That is so beautiful. And then have children and create families. That's so beautiful. I had limiting beliefs around it because of my own personal experience, my own programming, my own socialization. So whatever is grossing you out, whatever is making you feel icky inside, follow it and see if you can cure that. See if you can heal that, because you might really be wanting it on a certain level. And once you figure out that you want this thing, it could be a part of the plan for you. So figuring out what you want can often come from discovering those things that you seem to really dislike, right? From exploring them a little bit further. I hope that made sense. And of course, this could be with anything. This could be with money, with health, with a career, whatever it is. Maybe comment down below if there's something that really triggers you that you can explore further. Maybe if you could comment that below, because it will inspire other people who are looking for their own triggers. This is just a process of softening, of letting energy flow through your life unimpeded, without those walls of resistances towards anything. We don't need to be in resistance towards anything. We don't need to feel super strongly about really anything. We don't, like, hating anything is silly. It's all just a part of the game. It's all part of the process. So remember once more that this is all fun and games. I know that might seem hard to understand, but once you get yourself into the mind state of this is all a divine matrix game and you came here to just do whatever you want and explore it in whatever way you want, and there's so many different avenues of this game that you could go down, so many different pathways that you could discover. It's fun. It's an adventure. You chose to come here, and you're one of the lucky ones who got the opportunity to come to the earth realm right now. So finding your purpose is a fun process. Finding out why you came here, remembering it, uncovering it through self-exploration and self-creation is so fun. You aren't lost. You're right here. You're just on that journey of self-discovery and self-creation. And day by day, as you play and as you discover, you create yourself into exactly who you were always meant to be before the programming, before you were taught to follow the herd, before the societal norms, coming back to yourself through play and through exploration. I hope that made sense. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. And I always forget, can you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it? Thanks.